Well, it's pretty nice out today, and we've been kind of working away on a bit of a dual project that will get us ahead. So this is kind of a continuation of our shed moving, so we're going to take and show you where we're at now and where we hope to be by the end of the day. Here's the priority, which unfortunately becomes the second step because we had to complete something first, but this is going to be our third goose pen. But before we do that, we have to come back over here to the chicken coop, which you can see we've basically taken out all the outer walls, and we have to basically, this came in two pieces, so this is the second half. The first half we already did last fall. As you can see, this wall was completely gone, so we're to the point now and in the process of sort of fixing that, and then we have to get the back wall back on. We're going to put plywood, because we have it. We've salvaged a bunch, and we have to reconstruct this wall because these are going to be two sides to our goose pen. So we have to do that first, which also we will probably put the floor in because that'll be way easier to do
with no walls.
When we have no walls, it'll be so much easier. So we'll probably do those steps first, see where we're at, and then once we get that up, it should be reasonably smooth sailing to get the fence up here. But we'll see where we get to today. Well, end of day, what's going to be day number 1, I guess, after not including the day we moved everything around. Kind of like you
Story
said,
of our lives. We didn't get as much done as we'd hoped.
But we still did pretty good, so we'll show you what we got done here. Well, here's the back side. So as you can see, it looks like a box.
We're good at building boxes.
Yeah, we're good at building boxes. So from this side it doesn't look like too much, but I'll take you around the front side. So here's the front side, which still doesn't really look like much.
Hours of work, and it comes down to, it doesn't look like much.
Yeah, it's finicky, right? Because you're
trying to sometimes trying to salvage something to make it what you want.
It's almost harder
than just taking a new sheet of plywood. And I mean, with the price of lumber and everything right now, we are trying to salvage everything we can around here, including taking things apart to make new things. So
yeah, but we've done pretty good today. All of this is material that was around here that we used to fix this. So, and we've still got all the fence boards, that we had on the outside, which we are going to replace on the inside here to be an inside wall. It's kind of like it'll have a double wall, because this will be a winter coop.
Yeah, and we've been stuffing the fleece, the wool down them to insulate them for winter use.
Some of the extra fleece. And
works great.
We also find it's easier for cleaning with the double wall because you don't have a lip for the chickens to poop on. But anyways, end of day 1. It is now the following weekend, and that's one of the things about homesteading when you have a full-time job. You can't necessarily keep going throughout the week on bigger jobs. So this goose pen hypothetically might go pretty quick. We still have to figure out some of the finer details on it though. So on that note, we are going to get started. For April, it is hot. We have almost end of June, July type weather today as far as temperature goes.
Plus 25, going to feel like plus 28.
Which is a really big change from like 2 weeks ago when we had snow and frost in the ground and all this other stuff.
It's so dry.
So it's warm out. It's like
very hot.
Shorts weather.
Gosh.
So we're about to take a little bit of a break here and go in and get something to eat and possibly change into a bit more, not seasonally appropriate, but temperature appropriate clothing. But anyways, we're going to show you kind of where we've gotten to with this project. We've got that piece of fence up, although we do have to adjust the bottom board and put in another one.
We decided to do 3 boards.
Decided to do 3. So here we are on this side. So we have one of our cribs built, and we have all the pieces cut to assemble the second one, which is going to go here. And again, that was because we can't really get into the ground very deep here. So we've kind of made this semi-self-supporting, for lack of a better way to put it. But we have this end done, so it's basically another box, for lack of a better way to put it. And we think this end's going to go pretty quickly. All of this is stuff that, again, was kind of reclaimed or we brought with us, or we didn't purchase any of this new specifically for this project, which is awesome.
Well, the only thing that was new was the roll of wire.
The wire.
We had brought it with us, but it wasn't opened yet.
Hadn't opened it yet, but that's okay because it was basically for poultry. All right, well, we're almost there. We didn't quite get it finished. We got the fence up all the way around, so it basically ended up being a self-supporting fence. Made it of 4x4s, kind of at right angles or right angle-ish, to give it some stability. Then we have our 2 cribs, which looks overkill, but we do plan to use them for a larger gate. It's going to be over here, so that'll be helpful in the long run. It seems like a lot for a pair of geese, but it will help in the long run. We're very, very close. Unfortunately, as per normal, we've got to stop this project and go and do up some chores and such, because we're getting later. But we'll have them in there tomorrow, provided we don't get torrential downpour. But we're not supposed to, although we still would appreciate some rain. All right, so now we're another day, and we didn't spend a whole lot of time on this today actually, but we are set up enough to put the geese in. We've filled the cribs up with rocks. I might go in and take a closer look at them here in a second. We got the gate refurbished, a chain for the gate, and we've set up the nest box and everything else in there. So essentially all we have to do is herd them over here and into the pen. So we're going to go do that in a second. First we'll go over and take a quick look at the cribs and kind of, I guess, how we constructed them a bit. Here's a bit of a closer view on the cribs. So what these are, 4x4s. And we probably went a little higher, but at the same time we think we are going to have to add another tier to both of these. We think this will work in the short term, but we're not done, and it's raining, so we're not going to keep going on it. But all we've done is essentially gone alternating, and see, they're on the inside so that the rocks push out, but then they're basically just pushing to on the 4x4. So they're pretty sturdy already, and fortunately all these rocks came from literally just
there,
the other side of that picnic table. So that was another thing. If we had to take these a long distance, we might not have done this, but because it's a rocky area that we are building this pen, or we built this pen, the nice part is there's lots of rocks. So it worked out pretty decent. But anyways, that's just a quick look at that. So we're going to go get the geese. So we just got the geese moved over, and we were checking the third pair of geese, which is out in the, I guess you'd say, the winter pasture with the sheep right now, coming and going in and out of the barn. They're going to stay in the barn because they've started to lay quite good, and they've got a good nest started. So because they're outside, I was taking this opportunity to take a look and see how many eggs they had, and figured I'd video this because this is kind of funny. So we'll go take a look. To apologize, it is a little dark in here, but here's the nest, and I'm just kind of pulling it back. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goose eggs and a chicken egg. One of the group that's in the barn right now apparently thinks this is an excellent spot to lay her eggs, but I am going to take this little egg out of here because even though it's arranged beautifully in with the goose eggs, that's not really going to be a viable option because chicken eggs take a lot less time to hatch than goose eggs. So if she was to sit on this egg, she'd probably break it because a goose is also considerably bigger than a chicken. But yeah, if it did hatch, it would hatch almost a week because chickens are 21 days, geese are 32 approximately. So. But on the topic of geese, 6 eggs in the nest already, and she's doing a pretty good job. I've just kind of pulled this back. I'm going to put it back over here a bit. She's got them arranged, but that's pretty good. We're well on our way here to some goslings.